Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council Harwell. Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day, wherever you are around the world. And welcome back to another Liverpool news episode for you guys this evening. And not major news, of course, today. Obviously, we'd like more breaking news, of course, but there's been a bit of news here and there anyway, of course. But let me know how all of you are in the chat down below as well. Of course, if anything I've missed in tonight's episode, do let me know in the comment section down below as well. And of course, if you're new around here as well, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. Be very much appreciated as always. But as you can tell by the thumbnail and the title tonight, we are going to be discussing Manu Kone. Of course, he did go off injured, I believe, last night in France's last under 21 group game. Of course, he went off after 18 minutes. We're going to be looking at that. We're also going to be discussing Gabri Veiga as well, and another club that has joined the race in his potential signing, of course. So we'll be discussing that. And of course, the main topic and the main discussion in tonight's episode, yet again, is going to be Dominik Szoboszlai. Again, of course, obviously, stuff has been coming out all day concerning the Hungarian international. And of course, I want to know your guys' thoughts on everything that we do mention in tonight's episode as well. So again, let me know your guys' thoughts on all the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. But most importantly, of course, Dominik Szoboszlai, we're going to majorly talk about in tonight's episode as well. But again, guys, let me know all of you are in the chat down below as well. And yeah, it's not been a busy news day, I would say. Hopefully, we'll hear more over the next couple of days and weeks. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe, when Szoboszlai's 60 million pound release clause gets expired. So again, a lot of people will be intrigued by that, of course. But again, if anyone is new around here, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well. But Zane's it's already in saying I'm going to get it out of the way so we can be slightly more positive. FSG out. Thank you, Zane, for getting it out at the start of the video. Maybe we might do it a bit later on as well. But again, good seeing you as well. And again, we've got another FSG out as well. Thank you, Ollie, as well. Anyway, but guys, again, if you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, hit the share button as well, guys. Again, massively appreciated as always. Anyway, but we're going to dive straight into the news then, guys. And of course, we're going to talk about Manu Kone to begin with. Now, like I mentioned last night, he did get injured after 18 minutes in France's last group game of the European Championships. Again, left on crutches, as you can see kind of there anyway. And of course, there was an article piece on This Is Anfield as well, stating, if I quickly get it for you guys, again, Liverpool target Manu Kone on crutches after injury with the France under-21s. Manu Kone, one of the midfielders on Liverpool's radar this summer, found his third outing at the Euro 21, also under-21 Euros, blighted by a knee injury on Wednesday. The 22-year-old considered a move to Anfield. Jurgen Klopp still expected to add two more midfielders to his ranks this summer. Now, it does go on to say that he is due a scan on his knee as well. Of course, there is it'd be a telling part whether or not, of course, it's going to be serious. Of course, there was conversations, I think, last night that it might be an ACL injury potentially. I think worst case scenario. Hopefully, best case scenario, of course, it isn't as bad as first thought. But still, I think this is a healthy reminder of what happens potentially if you sign someone before a tournament. In that regard, of course, with the likes of Kefran Turan, for example, and even Manu Kone as well. I think I've said it to you guys. I think if Liverpool are going to be signing more of a six this summer. For me, Manu Kone, I would much prefer over somebody like a Romeo Lavia, for me personally. But again, you look at it, you look at the situation in terms of that. Again, obviously there'll be plenty of other clubs, certainly in the Premier League, I think, as well, that would want Manu Kone in their team. And of course, now this potentially takes that off the table as well. But of course, hoping that Manu Kone doesn't need a lengthy spell out. Of course, hopefully the scan does come back clean as well. But again, I do think it is a healthy reminder of when we talk about transfers, and we talk about why haven't Liverpool made moves for potentially a Kefran Turan, for example. This is a probably a healthy reminder of, again, you don't know what's going to happen in a tournament. In that regard, again, like I think all of us remember, when we was talking about, I think when we were discussing in terms of, I've lost my train of thought. What was I saying? In terms of, Shaqiri, we knew back then, for example, that Liverpool were going to sign Xherdan Shaqiri back, when we did. But of course, you had the Euros in between it, so that made it a bit more difficult in that regard. Of course, as soon as the Euros ended, or as soon as Switzerland was out, of course, Liverpool was straight on the case with Xherdan Shaqiri. And I do think as well. Obviously, we'll talk about obviously with certain midfielder in a brief moment, but of course, with Kefren Turam, like I've said to you guys at plenty of occasions, I think that Liverpool, as soon as the the tournament is done, I think Liverpool will ramp up their efforts to potentially sign Kefren Turam as well, because I think again Turam is definitely on Liverpool's list. And again, if Liverpool was to get Szoboszlai and Turam, very good window in terms of a midfield rebuild. Of course, not done in that regard. Liverpool still need a centre half, but if we were to have a midfield three coming in of, again, McAllister, Thuram, and Szoboszlai, again, I apologize for butchering his name. That would be, a great start to a rebuild, in my opinion, anyway. But of course, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway. Of course, we will discuss Szoboszlai in a moment, of course. But I want to know your guys' thoughts on Manu Kone, of course, and then that injury as well. Because again, hopefully it's not, hopefully it's not too bad of an injury, of course. But fingers crossed, we will hopefully hear some news maybe in the next couple of days. Again, concerning Manu Kone, because again, if Liverpool are interested in him, again, obviously that will help that case, of course. Anyway, but. What else do we have? Brian's in saying hi, Connor. Hello, Brian. Hopefully, I'm fantastic day, mate. Hello, Ricky. Hashtag FSG out or FSG out. Wiggs is in. Hello, Wiggs. Saying there's talk FSG doesn't have the cash yet again this summer. They need to sell up. We're becoming a laughing stock of the league with his penny pinching tactics. Yeah, I saw something on, obviously seen on Sky Sports, them talking about Liverpool being financial difficulty. It's probably true in terms of, again, we know what Liverpool are like, we know what FSG are like, but, and I will say, take it with a pinch of salt, like probably a huge pinch of salt, because again, where has that guy got the information from in that regard? Again, if it was a David Ornstein that come out, if it was a Paul Joyce, a James Pearce, someone that's connected with the club or knows, something around the club, again, like I would, I would believe it. Currently, of course, we know what FSG are like, unfortunately, but I just think that again, Sky Sports have been behind the times for forever. Again, I think Sky Sports get their reliable sources from Twitter. Nowadays, of course, we do as well, but that's a top end top end people, for God's sake. But still, I think look, it is. Of course, Liverpool don't have 250, 300 million to spend, of course, but I think when you look at players we have got linked with the last couple of days as well, the last couple of weeks, we wouldn't hear the rumours of Liverpool wanting to spend, or Liverpool, trying to talk with representatives of players if it was going to be the case of, oh, look, it's going to be, Liverpool haven't got no money, we're just going to go and talk to the agents anyway. There'd be no point in that. So yeah, there's obviously, we know what FSG are like. We know the limits that Liverpool have, but in terms of there being the fact that Liverpool are stuck for cash, I don't think it's true personally. But again, we do know what FSG are like though, as well. But Ollie says, I think Efren could be a 6 for us. He was a 6 before last season. Yeah, that is true. I think though personally he is more of an 8, 8-10 going that way, but he can certainly play as a 600%. And look, it's good versatility, isn't it? To be fair, again, we know Jurgen loves a versatile midfielder as well. But Zane said we need to look at our homegrown quota even more now, considering how we've just given Adrian a new deal as well. I think we're good on. I'll have to again. I haven't got it up now, but again, there was a good piece I think from. I can't remember who it was, but shows the quotas and that and so on. I think look, it's very much the sense of I think we're fine. I think even if Liverpool do whilst in with homegrown, I think it's still considering the players that we got and how it works. I think Liverpool can pretty much have a 21-man squad, which that's what we do anyway, in that regard. But yeah, but maybe we'll have to look at it. Maybe next season. I think it's fine for this season, but next season it will be a bit more difficult anyway. But looks like Leipzig player OBS rumors deadline was tomorrow. Fake news. It's not fake news. The deadline is tomorrow. Again, the release clause does end tomorrow. But I think, and we'll talk about it a bit more in a moment. But it does feel like there is a bit of wiggle room there for a deal. Maybe it might be at the 60 million mark, it might be at the 65 million mark, but it might be installments, which of course is how every club does things now. Of course, by the looks of things, if Liverpool were to pay the release clause, it would be upfront straight away. And of course, we know Liverpool don't do that in that aspect of things as well. So again, the Liverpool won't do any business before tomorrow. I think that's a given, and I think Newcastle won't do it neither, of course. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But we still need a DM. I agree, 100%. A Mascherano type player should be a priority. Yagate was that priority, wasn't it? We sign no one else. I guarantee now we're linked to everyone. Nothing happens. Again, I disagree. I think, look, Daryl, I think Liverpool will sign. I think Liverpool will sign at least two more players, whether or not that's two midfielders or a midfielder and a centre back. I don't know, but I do think Liverpool sign two more players at least this window. Kone is more of a project, in my opinion. Lavia is my premise. Again, no, I don't want Lavia. Again, I think it's the other way around. I think Kone is more established than Lavia. Kone has Bundesliga and Champions League experience. I think Lavia is a bit different in terms of, again, has prime experience, don't get me wrong, but again, I think out of the two, I personally prefer Kone than Lavia. What else we have? Why are we in financial difficulty every summer though? It's the same BS we get fed every summer. Yeah, no, it is absolutely 100%. It's so annoying because it is every summer. It's like inject story here why we can't do this and why we can't do that. It is very frustrating and it is very annoying. But yeah, it is as Jack said there. All FSGPR don't know why we're always believing them. Yeah, true. That is absolutely true. To be fair, anyway. But before we do get into the main story, anyway, of tonight's episode, of course, we are going to quickly talk about Gabri Veiga now, chat, anyway, of course. And like I said, there is a club that, of course, is now in the race for Gabri Veiga, and that is Manchester City. Of course, if you guys haven't seen yet, of course, Fabrizio Romano came out yesterday and said that Manchester City have entered the race for Spanish talent Gabri Veiga after pulling out the Declan Rice deal. He's one of the options now being considered at the club. Liverpool and Chelsea remain interested, but City also informed now. Of course, release clause is 40 million euros. Now, again, do I think out of the likelihood, where does he go? I think it is Manchester City, Chelsea, and then Liverpool. I think he is somebody that Liverpool do like. It is a profile that maybe is good enough in that sense of being what Liverpool are looking at next season. But I just have a feeling that he is a lot lower in Liverpool's list, considering who we've been linked to over the last couple of weeks and so on as well. But again, I do think that would potentially Liverpool get 40 million euros. I think that's what 34 million pounds as well. It was a good bit of business in that regard. I think he scored, I think it was 8 goals and got 11 assists last season or somewhere around that. for Gabri Veiga in La Liga. So it's good output. Again, I think when you look more at his statistics, he is more attacking than he is defensive in that regard as well. So it would be something if we are going to be playing as two tens in that regard for next season. Could be something that Liverpool might look at, but I do think he might probably go to City, especially because now City have got rid of, or Gundogan has now gone in that regard as well. But again, we'll just have to wait and see in that way anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts on Gabri Veiga anyway. For God's sake, I've just seen the chat. What else we have? We're saying Jack, mate, every April journos say we're getting a war chest come the summer. We're broke. These owners have to go. Yeah, it's always the same, isn't it? The fact that what was it? We had a £250 million war chest, and now that's gone. Supposedly, the monopoly man took it. That regard, but yeah, it's a bit annoying. We were promised 250 million rebuild, so lying to the fans, riots won't be far away. I think everyone thought that during the season. It never happened. That was the point of it, but yeah. Again, I don't want Liverpool. Again, I'm not thinking the fact that Liverpool have to go out and spend £300 million or something like that, because I'd like it, and it shows ambition. It does, absolutely 100%. But it is the sense of if we got, for example, say if Szoboszlai was 65 million, just as an example, for that. Again, McAllister 35, Szoboszlai 65. That's what 100 and is that 65, and yeah, so that'll be 100 mil on them, and then you've got Thuram on top of that. You're looking at what 140, 145 potentially, and then a centre half on top of it. Liverpool should be able to do that. That's a bare minimum for that regard. You look at the season where we got Alisson, we got Fabinho, we got Naby, we got Shaqiri in as well. I think we ended up spending £180 million that summer. Like, again, it's something that Liverpool have done when it is called upon, and this summer is a massive step for what's going to happen over the next 2, 3, 4 years potentially as well. If we don't address the problems that we have now, we're never going to solve them. So there will be another season like last year, probably even worse as well, considering the fact we've got people going. We've had people going like Bobby and Milner as well, of course. Naby, and of course I know Naby and Milner. It's not the best having them around, but again, it's bodies in the door, and at the minute the bodies have gone in that regard. So look, I think potentially Liverpool, again, they need to get their act together sooner rather than later as well. But what else we have? Thuram is a ball carrier, not a 6 at the highest level. Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think it is going to be around the 8 role, I think, for Thuram anyway, but nobody is writing as well. So it's Brian. When Klopp goes, the FSG fans will soon start relishing his working miracles on a crap budget. No other manager will do it, and will become a mid-table again under these owners. Yeah, no, it's true. 100%. Again, I don't think any of us are ready for when Klopp leaves. When Klopp does leave, again, we will see the true Liverpool in that regard as well. But yeah, it absolutely we'll be going backwards in that way anyway. But wish half of Anfield would make up and realise until it is too late and Klopp is gone and back to mid-table. Yeah, absolutely, Jack. It can be like we're waiting for FSG. Get money out. Hurry up! I'm dying here. This is exhausting. Well, obviously was. I think we signed 2 more, also a mid and a centre back. Preferably, I like Liverpool to sign 3. But yeah, me being optimistic, I still think Liverpool sign 3 players in this summer as well as Alexis McAllister. I think Liverpool sign, if everything went to plan and Liverpool, actually pulled their act together, the players are there. Like, obviously, my dream window now would be Szoboszlai, Thuram, McAllister, and Gonzalo Inacio. That would be the perfect window, in my opinion. But whether or not Liverpool do that, of course, you've got Mickey van der Ven that's running around, who's lurking around in that way as well. But I don't know. Like again, obviously that's just me being optimistic in that regard. I'm not saying, of course, Liverpool will go and do it, but we'll just have to wait and see. But again, fingers crossed, Liverpool do get their act together anyway. But let me quickly scroll back down. Rick saying, I honestly can't wait to see the FSG in fanboys start turning on them. Supported Liverpool since '93. I don't want my club to go back to those days they have set up. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Again, we can't be waiting another 30 years for a title. That's plain and simple to see. We've currently got the best manager we've had, certainly in my lifetime at Liverpool. And yeah, we haven't used him to his full potential in terms of winning multiple league titles. And when you see City, again, if City had 100 million to spend on on Declan Rice, they could easily go out and spend 100 million on somebody else. I think Barella would be perfect for City. But yeah, it just frightens me, doesn't it? The fact that they've got that, like, supposedly because they won the treble, they have like 350 million to spend, and it wouldn't affect them in terms of budget wise. Like, again, that's just ridiculous. But yeah, it's absolutely annoying. There's no point of a Premier League. Man City buying the league, it's boring. It's true. Let's see how to do those. Get in the bin, McKindo. Absolutely get in the bin. FSG out now. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, if we can get to 20 likes, guys, as well. Obviously, it is free. In that regard, anyway. But to be fair, I have been. Again, I was going to mention it, or maybe on a short or something. But was thinking about memberships on the channel, but then again, I'm kind of like not in a rush to do it. I don't know whether or not if you guys would like membership tiers in that regard, in terms of having like a logo next year or this, that, and the other. Again, proper FSG, like Wassim was like, yeah, come and join, I'm kidding, of course. Again, it'll probably be, I think it's £1, I think, to join, or something like that. Again, we'll try and do like thinking about it, and that, like, just do like maybe call shows. So like, again, so people who are subscribed or like members, we do like not shows, but like, again, go into like a a call or something, and then we talk to one another, and things in the other like that. Or do other perks and that. So you're thinking about it, but of course have to have a look into it more as well. But again, let me know if anyone would be interested. Anyway, of course, Jack, your membership will be £9.99. Just saying. But of course, he's raging at the telly right now. John Henry passes go collection with 200 million by yachts and hockey team, best in golf, and he doesn't give two shits about Liverpool. Yeah. Again, how much was that 3% that they paid into that Tiger Woods thing? That would be interesting to know how much that would be as well. But Klopp should be demanding this money. I'd walk if I was Klopp. I think plenty of people have that thought and an opinion as well. Sorry, chat. I thought someone was outside my door then. We will go backwards post Klopp. Just watch. It's not being negative. It's being realistic. Yeah, 100% true. Mad how many fans think we get Thuram. No chance. I still think we get Thuram. To be fair, I think we get Thuram over Szoboszlai, personally. But who knows? You're spot on, Jack. We've been around long enough to see what happens in the near future as well. Yeah, 100%. Thuram will be our next signing. Fingers crossed. If City hasn't cheated their way to the top, Liverpool would have had 3 league titles in the club. Yep, no, again, that's true. It's mad how we got some people going, oh, Liverpool, boss of the league. They did this, they did that. Like, we've had 97, 98, and 99 points. Or we've had not 99, sorry, 98. We've had 97 points. We've had, what was it, 92? Like, not last season, the season before, and then we ended up winning the league by going 99 points. That's ridiculous. is so mad, man. But Liverpool, could reach that. No other team's done that and not won the Premier League. Like, just so frustrating, man. But again, no, that's absolutely true, and it's truly shame when you see it in front of your eyes how little Klopp net spend is. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think Liverpool have, is it the 11th top net spend since he's been at the club, which again is ridiculous. When you look at it like that as well, it's absolutely ridiculous, to be fair. But we'll move on. Actually, chat. Let me quickly look for something a moment. Oh, that's kind of nice. For some reason, Ibu Kanate has just gone and liked Soboslai's whole entire Instagram, which is kind of nice in that regard. Ibu, if he knows anything. But of course, we are going to move on and we are going to talk about Dominik Szoboszlai. Now, of course, again, I apologize if I have butchered his last name. But yes, we are going to be talking about the Hungarian international. Now, of course, if you guys have been living under a rock, or if anyone has been living under a rock, of course, now yesterday it did come out, obviously, from David Ornstein, coming out the Liverpool exploring move with Dominik Szoboszlai of RB Leipzig. Of course, Liverpool met his camp this week, latest attacking mid to be considered, obviously unclear if it develops, blah, blah, blah. And it does go on to say, obviously, but its desired profile and related to, of course, Fabio Carvalho deal as well. And, of course, Fabrizio Romano bringing it up in terms of his, of course, his release clause expiring after July, obviously June 30th and not July 15th as well. But today, of course, according to Fabrizio Romano, anyway, of course, I did clip this up as well from obviously Josh as well off Twitter. But this was what Fabrizio Romano said in his in his YouTube video, saying that Dominik Szoboszlai is a big target for Liverpool. They really appreciate him. Internally now, they are discussing what move to make next for Newcastle. It's now complicated, which, of course, is a good sign for Liverpool. Of course, if that is the case for the situation, anyway. And something on the Anfield Wrap as well, and obviously does name him with the title with the video as well. Of course, obviously speaking, I think he was, again, I don't want to butcher his name. But of course, I think he's worked under Jurgen Klopp before, as well as the top Bundesliga writer as well, saying that for me it's very true that Szoboszlai wants to go to Liverpool. If Szoboszlai can choose between Champions League with Newcastle and Europa League with Jurgen Klopp, he will choose Klopp and the Europa League. That's for sure. Which of course is great in that aspect of things as well. And of course, in the same interview, he did say that in the moment it's too expensive, but I think they will speak until the last minute of the deadline. I will say yes, Dominik Szoboszlai will go to Liverpool. So again, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on that piece of news. I think what the interesting point is that second paragraph there, like where it says if Szoboszlai can choose between Champions League with Newcastle or Europa League with Jurgen Klopp, he will choose Europa League with Jurgen Klopp. Obviously, we brought the clip or the quote yesterday to you guys in terms of what he said about Liverpool when he played us again in the Champions League. Of course, it's the only game up to now where he's been completely frozen and not used to the situation, which of course when you get that out of body experience, of course Liverpool in the Champions League and a European night, again that's a good sign in that regard. And of course the interview that he did, I think 4 months ago, saying that he would like and love to work under Jurgen Klopp, obviously did also mention Pep Guardiola in that same interview. We did go in depth about Jurgen Klopp again. So look, and judging from watched Fabrizio Romano's video earlier on, it does sound like that it is very much in Liverpool's hands what we want to do. Of course, it does sound like that there is a bit of negotiating there to do, even with the release clause expiring after tomorrow night, of course. But we will just have to wait and see. I think what will happen if everything does go to plan, and of course if Liverpool do perk up the money for it, Of course, it won't be £60 million. It most likely is going to be 60, £70 million in that regard as well. If Liverpool do that, it does sound like something could happen in terms of instalments. But again, that is if Liverpool do act upon it. But judging from the stuff that's come out of the Bundesliga as well, it does sound like he wants to take the next step, which is the Premier League in his eyes, which causes another one that's good. But again, will FSG and will Liverpool pick up the money? That's the bigger question. I think I think all of us asking and hoping as well that they will, perk up and actually pay up the money as well. Because again, he's Szoboszlai, he is a very versatile midfielder, forward, if you even want to call him that, attacking mid. Of course, I think in his whole career, he's played attacking midfield, or I think 9 out of 10 of his games has been in an attacking midfield role. Of course, last season played it, I think, a lot on the right hand side for RB Leipzig. But again, I think if Liverpool do sign him, he will be an 8, or that 8-10 role that Liverpool will be going with next season. And I think as well, like we mentioned yesterday, it's going to be the case of, we got Mo Salah going to AFCON as well for a month, which of course I think we got, again, I think we've got Arsenal and Chelsea in that period as well. So again, Liverpool will have to, put someone there. We don't have an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to bail us out in that regards. But again, it will be interesting to see what Liverpool do. Of course, do I think that Liverpool will act upon Dominik Szoboszlai before tomorrow night? No, personally, I don't. But of course, if Fabrizio Romano's comments are correct, it does feel that maybe Liverpool have moved ahead now of Newcastle in that regard, to maybe push a bit forward. But again, who knows? But hopefully, we will hear some more, more good news concerning Dominik Szoboszlai over the next couple of days and weeks. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly check if there is anything else I have missed in terms of news. Anyway, I don't think I have, to be fair. But it's personally, do I think Liverpool will go for him? I'm mixed on it personally, because again, price tag. That's the only thing for me that does stand in the way. This price tag. Will Liverpool spend, what was it, 60, 65, 70 million pounds on a midfielder? They should do, but will they is another question. Because again, 22 years of age, has plenty of time for improvement. And yeah, it does look like a very promising player, of course. But we'll have to wait and see on it as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts as well. And I want to quickly know your guys' thoughts as well. If it is the choice between Dominik Szoboszlai and Kefren Turam, now I know both have very different profiles of players. Do you think Liverpool will go for Dominik Szoboszlai, or do you think Liverpool will go after Kefren Turam? I'd love both. Don't get me wrong. I'd very much love it if Liverpool could get both for absolutely 100%. But will they? Is again a complete and utter guess. But for me, I wish and dream that Liverpool do get both for next season. Of course, I'm gonna quickly check that a minute, guys. There we go. Has that done that? Yeah, there we go. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts anyway. But Wig saying, I don't hate FSG. They've done decent things away from the pitch, but that ambition doesn't line up with what's happening when it comes to the squad. Yeah, no, it's true, 100%. I think the worrying concern, I think, is when you do look at it, like Liverpool at the moment are valued at 4.5 billion in that regard. And for me, if FSG have the ambition of adding value to that, of course, again, it helps the fact that Liverpool will obviously develop the main stand, of course, getting done, that adds value. Annie Road getting extended. Probably the Kenny Dalglish stand will probably get extended as well, while FSG are owners potentially. But it is the it is the sense of if they're not investing, if they're not putting money into the team, then that valuation goes down. Especially if Liverpool, let's say over the next 2-3 seasons, don't win anything. It's damaging in that sense. And again, obviously FSG will go, oh, we could easily sell for 4 billion and get our money at it. I think as well, what the big thing with Liverpool is, I think FSG have been waiting and desperately holding out, um, trying to have a look at things in terms of what Manchester United are sold for. I think FSG have this thought and this opinion of, oh, if for example United get sold for 6-7 billion pounds, then Liverpool should be on that 6-7 billion mark. And of course, look, with Liverpool being the biggest club in England, in my opinion, commercially it is Manchester United, but again, I think if you were to go out of the two clubs, which one would you rather own? I think Liverpool, absolutely 100%. Probably a bit biased in that regard, but still, I do think Liverpool would be the better option to have. But again, it's all about whether or not they want to keep that investment, or whether or not again in the next year or two they have ambitions to totally sell the club. Who knows? But again, we won't know that until something happens, or if there's an investor comes in, or this that, and the other. Of course, that's another thing that we haven't really spoken about that was meant to be done by the summer, was investment, and it hasn't happened. So yeah, bit of frustration there. But Evo dropping game, we are familiar with your king as well. Yeah, absolutely. He's a big target, isn't he? 6'1". Who's a Szoboszlai or 2 round? We're talking 2 round. 2 round 6'4". Szoboszlai, I don't know how tall Szoboszlai is anyway. Big shame for Manu Kone. I got excited about him without seeing more than 15 minutes of highlights. He looks solid and aggressive. He'll bounce back. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like again, we're hoping that it isn't too serious. That's the hopeful dream anyway. But yeah, again, I think some people were talking about ACL being a problem, which hopefully that's not the case for Kone. Because I think that's probably what 4-5 months out probably of next season. Perfect midfielder in that regard, but of course, hopefully he is, and hopefully it does come back all okay anyway. But Big Dom and obviously McAllister as our eights, yes please, as well, says Ollie. We don't know what players Klopp wants exactly. Well, again, Szoboszlai didn't get, yeah, people go like, oh, he hasn't been linked all window. If David Ornstein's coming out and saying stuff like it, I know people go, oh, because oh, he got stuff wrong with the Liverpool getting sold and this, that, and the other. Again, when Ornstein, Paul Joyce, or any other, Neil Jones as well, if any of them come out, David Lynch, James Pearce as well, if they come out and go, oh, something's happening, if this and this is happening, then look, they're getting on good authority that it might be happening as well. And again, Szoboszlai has, he has all the traits of what Klopp wants from a midfielder. So again, hopefully it is the dream. Liverpool will get him, fingers crossed anyway. But I have little faith in FSG giving Klopp the funds he needs, as well as Oswald. Yeah, I think everyone's in the same boat, aren't they, mate? To be fair, but my heart says FSG will spend the money we need, but my head says they will do a cheap one this summer. Yeah, that's the perfect way of thinking about it. Vaz, it's yeah. I think everyone's like, we're all hoping and we're all dreaming that something, or Liverpool will go out and spend money, but you look at it, it's like crap in that regard anyway. What else do we have? Let's see how the window goes first. Yeah, no, exactly. And again, look, it is early in the transfer window. You look at other clubs. Again, every top club has signed one, apart from obviously I was going to say apart from Manchester United, but of course they signed Mason Mount. Today, which again, what, £65 million for him, and 250-300 grand a week. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous for Mason Mount. Not worth it, in my opinion. It's far from worth it. But yeah, I think 40-45 million was probably enough to get Mason Mount out of Chelsea. But yeah, United have just gone, yep, there's 60 million quids. Yeah, we'll take him. And yeah, it's ridiculous. I think I said it 3 weeks ago. United will probably be the only club that will do it, and they have been the only club to do it. So yeah, it's absolutely laughable. But Amber TV, thanks. All the best to you as well. Our lads are doing well in the under 21s. Yeah, Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott's going to banging. What was it? A solo goal. I think was it yesterday he did it. So again, yeah, they are doing well. To be fair, run the likes up. Chat 20 like minimum as well. Yeah, if we could. Again, obviously Jack screaming it in the comments. There won't be any news that we've signed anyone until after the 1st of July. Maybe Philip. Again, look, if you're referring to Szoboszlai's release clause, yeah, Liverpool not going to be paying that, and I don't think Newcastle are either. So again, obviously, be terrible now, wouldn't it, if somebody just swoops in tomorrow and just bid, there's 60 million, we'll have him in that regard anyway. But no, I don't think anyone will be doing it anyway. But Van de Ven, oh, we want Van de Ven. No. It's obviously for me, if only one, as I feel Bajcetic can play his part next season as well. Yeah, absolutely. I think probably the sixth role might even get, it might be between Fabinho and Bajcetic next season. Bajcetic could even be playing as an 8 potentially. If we are going to be playing more towards 4-3-3 than than the 3-4-3 that we have been doing anyway. But just have to wait and see, won't we? Trying to stay away from the drama as well, says Mark. Don't worry. I hope they don't extend the Kenny. We need investment in the squad. No more building projects for now. I would agree. But like I was saying, in terms of growing their portfolio, if they did extend the Kenny, that would add to it 100%. But yeah, I would agree 100% Wigs. Still loads of rumours. Need to see signings for me now. Yeah, true. Again, like I think Liverpool, was it the joke last week that Liverpool were on holiday, or the majority of Liverpool's staff was on holiday last week, and now this week they've all come back. Which, if that is true, then Jesus Christ, what bloody ship are we bloody playing? To be fair, anyway, but we have the budget of Luton. Jack, like Luton have a better budget than Liverpool Football Club, especially after winning the playoffs last season. They have absolutely a better budget than Liverpool. Expect them to outspend us 100%. But we've had Ibu, Virgil, and Jota calling the owners out for investment in the squad. They're treading on, a fine line, keeping squad morale up. We don't want players leaving because of them being tight as well. Yeah, absolutely. Like I think Virgil more than often has spoken up majorly in terms of the owners and what they're doing. Again, like as I said, like again, Liverpool have been so used to fighting on all fronts over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and it when you want to be fighting top of the league and fighting for a Champions League, fighting for Europe, you want the players in. Now, everyone knew last season that Liverpool needed midfielders, and we didn't go and do it. That's the crying shame for me. Is when when the owners, or whether or not Klopp, finally turned around and went, oh yeah, we need midfielders. It was way too late last season. And again, Alexis McAllister by himself isn't good enough for Liverpool. Liverpool need at least another 2 midfielders, and I think everyone else can agree we'd probably like another one on top of that as well. But again, at the minute we're talking about just bringing in 2, let alone bringing in another one for Liverpool. So again, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I do agree with a lot of you as well. It is about time maybe in the next week we do see more concrete advancements in terms of whether or not it's going to be Szoboszlai or Thuram or Kone or Gravenberch. Again, I want to see some movement in that area, to be fair, as well. But what else do we have? I was saying FSG bought the club thinking that FFP would actually be enforced. This clearly died in a death, so they are not able to win stuff anymore. Again, and that's the big question mark, isn't it? Can they win up another Premier League with the way things are going? Probably not, which is unfortunate and disheartening to say. But then again, will City get? I was having a conversation I think yesterday. Whether or not Liverpool, sorry, with City and the Chargers, will something happen over the next year with the Chargers, and will the Premier League stick with it, or will they just go, oh, we don't want a long, um, legal fight. We'll try and settle for something, or this, that, and the other. Again, you know, City got proven to by UEFA. Again, we know what happened with UEFA, and it was practically a slap on the wrists in that regard. But they were still found guilty. And again, if the Premier League stick with it, again, City will get caught again, or get charged again. And hopefully, the Premier League will have more of a bottle than what UEFA did, because if they don't, again, what's to say that why if you were any other team then in the league, why wouldn't you go and spend this, that, and the other? Because you're not going to get caught, quite clearly. That's the thing. The whole no integrity for that. So yeah, it's frustrating, of course. But will that happen? I don't know. But it does mark a new store, training ground, main stand, Annie Road End, and now rebooting Millwood. They need to take a year or two out of any more projects. Yeah, agreed, 100% Wigs on that as well. What else we have? I would love Liberty Media to invest in Liverpool, but can't see it happening, of course. Yeah, Formula One could happen potentially, but I don't know. I don't know what would happen then. Again, 100 million more. Who knows? In that regards, I think it depends on how much Liverpool are selling shares for. Again, I think it's so unclear at the moment what Liverpool are doing in terms of shares, and what we're looking for in a sense. Are we looking for nobody's going to come in and invest billions in the team, unless of course you're a Liverpool fan and you want to see Liverpool challenge and fight. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be doing that anytime soon, unfortunately. So yeah, it is that sense anyway. But we will just have to wait and see anyway. But Mike has been learning from Thiago as well, as far as hopefully, that's fingers crossed anyway. Arsenal having a good window. They are having a good window up to now. Again, do I think Declan Rice is worth 100 million? No. Do I think he's a very good player? Yes. Do I rate Kai Havertz though? Personally, no. I don't get. I get why they've signed him. Again, versatile, can play as the 9, can play as an 8 as well. Probably see him as an 8 for Arsenal. But again, who knows what's going to happen in that regard anyway. But again, good so far. But we'll have to wait and see who else Arsenal sign, because again, Arsenal have spent the most amount of money out of anyone in the last 5 years. So look, again, if they spend a load of money and don't win anything again this season, if you calling for Arteta's head anyway. We need to look at after all our players. Bajcetic can play, so don't worry, nobody is gonna flog him to death as well. Again, need to Europa League next season will be key for getting key players, minutes in terms of young people like Doak, Bajcetic as well. They'll 100% get minutes next season, 1,000%. Liverpool monitor players right up until they sign for someone else as well. Yeah, what is it? Fekir, Bellingham. Who else? Who else am I forgetting? Chat. I'm trying to think. Who's a player that Liverpool have monitored, and then they've gone somebody else? Obviously, Fekir is the number one when we think about it. Like that saga, the stuff that obviously that started, my YouTube, sense of things. Obviously, I was with Daz from on the bench when Fekir was breaking and that, and we were doing work on that. It was constant, from minute 1 to minute, minute 1 of the afternoon to in the middle of the night. But it ridiculous, Nabil Fekir. And that whole transfer saga as well was ridiculous. To be fair, but he started 6 games before he got injured and looked perfectly at home in the Premier League. I think that's with Bajcetic. Bajcetic has the energy, commitment, tackle, first touch, and passing ability, and he is still basically a kid. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Long may it sail the messy waters as well, absolutely. But we need new signings. Yeah, I think this is why Liverpool are calm on a number 6, personally. I think because of Stefan Bajcetic. I think if Bajcetic wasn't there, I think Liverpool would be a bit more, you know, a bit more concerned about the number 6 role. I think, if you've got Henderson, this is just me thinking of Jurgen Klopp. If you've got Fabinho number 1, Bajcetic as a number 2, and then if must, Jordan Henderson in that regard, that I think Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp thinks that's fine. If then you can bring in, again, like I said, McAllister, Soboslai, and Thuram, and have them as your 8s, and with Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Thiago, Jordan Henderson as well, that looks a lot more promising for Liverpool. Of course, again, whether or not the owners do that, again, is a whole different conversation, isn't it, chat? To be fair. Anyway, let me quickly reset the chat because it's gone all the way up as well. But what else do we have? We dodged bullets on all of them as well. Yeah, Fakir was a weird one, wasn't it? To be fair, but yeah, obviously a load of people. Yeah, Tushimeni was one, right? Obviously, yeah, we're not going to mention that guy's name. But yeah, no, that Jesus Christ, Dad, no, no, Jesus Christ, awful, absolute crap. He was absolutely 100% as well. But Trap's in as well, saying hello, Connor. Hopefully, you're having a good day, Trap, as well. Good seeing you as well. Bajcetic is the same age as Gavi, and Gavi starts with Barcelona. True. Again, I think Bajcetic, I think Klopp will slowly bring him in next season again. I think he starts all of the Europa League games in the group stage anyway. Maybe he might start all the European games for Liverpool anyway. But we're going to quickly run through the news anyway. Of course, if anyone's just tuning in as well, of what we've spoken about in tonight's episode. Of course, we've discussed Manu Kone. Of course, he did get injured last night for France in their last group game in the under-21 Euro tournament. Of course, he was on crutches at the end of the game, of course, seen by there. And of course, there was rumours that he is going to be having a scan in the next 24 hours to determine whether or not it is, bad or good in that aspect of things. Of course, obviously we wish him good and well as well. Obviously, Gary Vega we've spoken about tonight. And of course, Manchester City have entered the race for Gary Vega. Of course, Liverpool and Chelsea remain interested, but of course, it does look like now City have a lot of money to work with. Obviously, 40 million is there for Liverpool, or for anyone, sorry. But again, I do think he will end up going to Manchester City in that regard. And of course, the main headline anyway, of course, we've spoken about Dominik Szoboszlai as well. And of course, if anyone's been living under a rock, like I did mention, obviously, David Ornstein said yesterday that Liverpool are exploring a move for Dominik Szoboszlai of RB Leipzig. Obviously, Liverpool met his camp this week, latest attacking mid to be considered, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, Fabrizio Romano saying about his release clause, which expires tomorrow night and not on July 15th. And today we've had, obviously, Fabrizio Romano saying that Dominik Szoboszlai is a big target for Liverpool. They really appreciate him internally now. They are discussing what move to make next. For Newcastle, it's now complicated, which of course is good for Liverpool in that aspect of things, of course. I think a top German journalist as well speaking in obviously to the Anfield Wrap, saying, for me, it's very true that Szoboszlai, wants to go to Liverpool. If Szoboszlai can choose between Champions League with Newcastle and Europa League with Jurgen Klopp, he will choose Klopp and the Europa League. That's for sure. Szoboszlai special, obviously, with Obviously that at, but they, and of course adding to that interview as well, he does go on to say, in the moment it's too expensive, but I think they will speak until the last moments of the deadline. I will say yes, Dominik Szoboszlai will go to Liverpool. So again, obviously great news in that aspect of things as well, and hopefully this will be true. The Dominik Szoboszlai will hopefully be joining Liverpool this summer anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts on everything that we have mentioned in tonight's episode as well. Anyway, we'll quickly read out a few more comments before we do head off for tonight anyway. Let me quickly scroll up. What else we have? Don't be surprised if he starts against Chelsea or by Setic potentially. Again, I wouldn't be shocked. Of course, depends on how he does in pre-season as well. To be fair, but has Rice moved to Arsenal? I missed it. I think it happened. I don't know whether or not it's confirmed yet. Obviously, there was a bid confirmed and accepted. I don't know whether or not if Fabrizio Romano has come out and said anything. I haven't seen anything as of yet, but yeah, it is more or less done. I think bars anyway. We will end up as starting Thiago Fabinho Henderson start of next season if we don't buy 2 or 3 more players. I'd McAllister do that. McAllister absolutely walks into Liverpool midfield next season. Trap as well, but I can absolutely see what you're coming about for there. All go, mate. Thank you. Would think you would like some signing as well. Yeah. Yes, me too, Jack. Haha, as well. I don't want another long run season. Yeah, no, we don't. Absolutely, 100%. We don't need another attacking midfielder in Szoboszlai mold. We need tackling midfielders more. Again, I do think that Szoboszlai, I do think could fit that bill. For me, I think Kefran Turan for me fits the bill either way for Liverpool. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? As far as it really, we should get Turam and Szoboszlai, but us Liverpool fans are appreciate. Yeah, that was true, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, maybe change incoming as well. £200 million players in today's market. True. Like we said, if you're talking about just McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Turam, you probably get them for 145, 150 mil, probably. Again, I think Liverpool can do that. But again, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Would you like a young Steve G in our academy again? Absolutely. But unfortunately, we don't have that. Milner back on loan. Jesus Christ, I won't start right. If we rubbish 2 months in after last season, I'll stop watching for the season. Can't be bothered with another 22-23. Yeah, I think we all have that feeling as well, Trap anyway. But guys, big thank you to all of you guys for tuning in for tonight's episode. Anyway, of course, if anything does break, obviously tomorrow is the deadline for Szoboszlai, £60 million release clause of €70 million in that regard. Again, we'll have to just wait and see what happens. But again, I don't think Liverpool will be acting upon it next, for the time being anyway. But we'll just have to wait and see, of course, anyway. But again, if you haven't yet already, guys, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well. I'm going to quickly check how many likes we're on anyway. We'll quickly check. Check. Can I check on this or not? Will it let me do it? It will, and we're on 27 likes, guys. If we can get to 30, again, very much appreciated. As always, of course, if you are new around here, please don't forget to hit that like button as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. And yeah, hit that share button as well, guys. Get as many reds in you as possible. And of course, we're going to be probably discussing, like I said, probably tomorrow or probably Friday if there isn't anything. Or Saturday, sorry. If there is anything breaking, we can probably look at the squad as well. Next week, of course, we've got a Liverpool journo coming on next week as well. Fingers crossed if we can get the date and time sorted. Of course, fingers crossed anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cock Council. I'll see you all later on. Ta-ra.